he says. The whole thing is lies from start to finish. What's interesting about this one, though, is that I have provided an unusually detailed refutation, point by point, of every single one of the several hundred lies, and I mean several hundred deliberate falsehoods that Abraham has perpetrated. This man is a liar, a cheat. I mean, he makes Al Gore look like a saint. He's utterly, utterly corrupt. This is not a man who deserves to hold any academic office whatsoever. And what he did was deliberately to divorce his talk from mine, so that unless you were watching my talk at the same time as his, you wouldn't realize how clever his lies were. It took him months to put this together. And it took me a week to write him an 84-page letter with several hundred, I think it's 450 questions in it. And it's that letter which I'm going to let you have on your website in a few days' time. I'm going to let him have one more chance, because I'm very fair to people when they do this sort of thing, to reply properly. But so far, his reply says nothing more than the following. This is my 84-page letter that I sent to him. He says, I'm replying to your letter on behalf of myself and on behalf of Father Dennis Deese, who is the president of the university, to whom I'd also written, complaining about Abraham and asking for him to be investigated. And Father Dennis Deese is washing his hands of it, just like Pontius Pilate. And the university, therefore, is not going to investigate any of this. And Abraham simply says, I stand by my original position. So let's have a look at Abraham's original position. The first thing that struck me as odd is that he didn't even tell me he was doing this in 8 months. Time and time again in his attack on me, he says, well, he doesn't even tell us what his sources are. At no time did he lift the phone or send me an email and ask me what my sources were. That's what an academic would normally do. So there's clear bad faith there. Bad faith also in Abraham's failure to let me know he was going to do this before he published it, so that I would have the chance to publish a contemporaneous and detailed refutation. No, he wanted to get a clear run at it, so that he could get all the left-wing websites to tear down my reputation, and the newspaper blogs over here saying I am the fallen idol of the climate skeptics, this kind of thing. There was also malice. I mean,
but they always do those hoaxes. They always say,
yeah.
I mean, they've said that the ice cap's completely melted. I mean, they...
And what he says is, you know, this man is guilty of sleight of hand, fabrication, shady...
Well, stay there. Back in 1 minute, Lord Monckton.
Yeah,
stay back. Stay there until we come back.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Be sure to visit GCNlive.com today.
Hello, this is Alex Jones with some important questions. If you're going into a battle and they give you a rifle and a sidearm, how much ammunition do you want? My answer would be all I can get. In the battle for freedom and the lives of your loved ones, food is your only ammunition. How much do you want? When do you want it? Now or after the battle starts? When will you need it? Can you buy it without proper identification? Will there be any food? Will it make your children sick? If there's a quarantine and you can't feed yourself, will you go to the gathering center and be immunized? You wipe out all these problems if you have a good food supply. Food is your ammunition to fight for your freedom and your life. How much will you need? We don't know. How much do you want? All you can get. I'm Alex Jones. I want all of you good guys to live to fight another day. Call 1-800-409-5633 or check it out on the web at efoodsdirect.com. Again, that number, 1-800-409-5633.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
We are now into hour number 4 on this Thursday edition. Lord Monckton will be with us till about 15 after, because it's important for him to be able to finish what he was covering. Recapping for stations that just joined us, they had a university professor, hydrologist, I guess, write this straw man attack that got a lot of collectivist parasite coverage, saying that he'd been discredited. But then when you look at the slideshow, none of it is what Lord Christopher Monckton has ever said at scienceandpublicpolicy.org. And when he talks about world government being announced, that's all over the news. So, Lord Monckton, in this segment and the next, you've got the floor. Run through the straw man attack he used, the tactics he used.
Right. So So first of all, we've dealt with bad faith, where he didn't tell me he was doing this. And the absolute academic rule is if you're going to attack somebody, particularly by accusing him of misrepresentation and dodgy data and straw men and sleight of hand and other things he's hurled at me, then it's very important you let the person know you're going to do this so that he can mount a reply at more or less the same time. That he didn't do. And that on its own would be an offence for which he would be dismissed from a real university. But then he only belongs to this half-assed Catholic Bible College, whose president, Father Dennis J. Dease, whose email address is djdease@stthomas.edu. That's djdease@stthomas.edu.
And now the honor of Lord Monckton is in question. I dare say...
I want everyone who is listening to that to take that email address down and write to Father Dease, telling him that he must investigate the matters I have drawn to his attention.
But doesn't he know that you've, I mean, to interrupt, but I want you to get into that you've routed all these other fraudulent professors and that he's picked a fight with a quite large dragon?
I don't think he's realized yet. I think he thinks he can get away with this, but I'm already talking to some of the university's largest funders, and they are going to start cutting off funding unless he gets on and gets off his bottom and does his job as president of the university and has this man Abraham hauled up in front of a committee of his peers to examine whether or not I am telling the truth or he is telling the truth.
Okay, well, let's go through the laundry list. Let's get...
All right, let's have a look at what he does. First of all, he says, I'm the professor here, Monckton's a layman, being paid by fossil fuel interest. Well, no, I'm not. I received no payment whatsoever for my talk at St. Paul, Minnesota, the one that he's attacking me for. I don't receive any payment from fossil fuel interests. And all of that was simply a lie. But apparently, in this Bible college, lying is part of what they regard as their Christian mission. I've already written to the bishop about it, but of course the bishop likewise these days probably so busy sorting out the problems with little boys that he hasn't got time to deal with this one. I haven't had a reply from the bishop. But Abraham starts off by, he can't even get his own math right. Time and time again he gets his sums wrong and then blames me. Then he tells the main thing that's really serious about it is lie after lie after lie after lie. What he does is he keeps on saying that I've said things about work by scientists, which I haven't in fact said. He then gets on to the scientist concerned and says, Monckton said this about you, what do you think of that? The scientist said, that guy Monckton's absolutely terrible, I never said anything of the kind. And then he repeats that in his talk. And here's an example. He falsely led, this is Abraham, this wretched little man from St. Paul, Minnesota, falsely led a third-party scientist, David Hathaway, who's a solar physicist, to believe that I had misrepresented Hathaway as having suggested that variations in the sun play a dominant role in climate change.
Which you've never said that.
I've never said that.
You've just said it's known to be
I never said it. I absolutely never said
because
it.
I've interviewed you. Well, hold on. I want to back. I mean, I've interviewed you probably 15, 20 times. I've read most of your stuff.
Yeah.
You're always saying no one knows about the climate, and for them to claim that they know when it's so complex is asinine. And but I mean, this is so egregious to go get other preeminent people to attack you by misrepresenting your words. That's
what he's done. It's outrageous. And this fellow Abraham knew that I had not, in this talk that he said he was attacking, I had not cited any opinion of Hathaway whatsoever. I had shown a graph by him. I had drawn my own conclusion from that graph, not in any way attributing my conclusion to Hathaway, and I had then cited the conclusion of an eminent pair of scientists, Cafetta and West, to the effect that 2/3 of the recent global warming was solar. That was not
Stay there. We're coming right back. It's incredible. The Fall of America and the Western World is an all-new 10-hour documentary and survival guide rolled into one. In this film, you will see the reasons why our government is failing and what you can do to prepare. Featuring Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, Joseph Farah, David Icke, Naomi Wolf, G. Edward Griffin, Doug McIntyre, Mark Crispin Miller, Mickey Z, Doug Casey, David McElvaney, and myself, Alex Jones. Protect yourself and get the tools you need to protect your family from these difficult times. The Fall of America and the Western World at www.thefallofamerica.net or click on the banners at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Again, that website's www.thefallofamerica.net or call 800-655
1577. Prepare yourself and the ones you love today. fallofamerica.net. Let me tell you a little bit about one of our great sponsors, homegain.com. This is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting any real estate questions answered. Go to homegain.com and see what I'm talking about. All you need to do is type in your home address, and you will get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. This is a great way to be able to monitor the value of your home. And again, it's absolutely free. There are tons of tools to help you. For instance, if you want to remodel your home,